Hey everybody, it's Michelle Caswell from Purely His and coming to you live on Friday Night Live. And we'll see how tonight goes. I'm actually filming in my house right now and that could get really loud here really quick. So we will see how this goes. I have a cat on the table in front of me to my left and there are two dogs sitting right over there on the rug. So we will see if they will behave while I'm on this live. I don't know if you guys know this, but I live in Noah's Ark. So I live in the modern day Noah's Ark with a couple of horses, couple of goats. How many chickens do we have now? I think we have 15 chickens, a couple of cats, and a couple of dogs. So yeah, at any moment things could get crazy. In fact, the other day we actually had a bird get caught in the flue of our fireplace, and that got interesting. That was probably our fourth bird we've had to rescue out of our fireplace. And so anyways, so hoping that the animals will not disturb our Friday Night Live. Anyways, well, thanks Pam for joining us, and Webb. You guys already have a really good marriage, but you might learn something from us tonight. We're going to be talking about marriage. I love talking about marriage. All right, I'm going to give people just another minute or so to jump on, and then I'm just going to jump right into what we have to say tonight. I keep saying we, but it's just me. However, the Holy Spirit is in me. So I guess when I say we, I'm talking about me and the Lord have a message for y'all. So anyways, don't want you to think that I have a split personality or anything. Hey, Erica. How are you? My conversation at your guys' group the other night has inspired my Friday Night Live tonight. So you'll hear some things tonight that you heard the other night. Hey, Katie. How are you? I heard we're supposed to meet up sometime soon, but I don't have a date. So you should talk to Jen, and me and you and Jen will all hook up. Meet at my office or something, or coffee or something. All right. Well, thank you everybody for, that is funny, huh, Erica? I was thinking of it before. I actually already had kind of tonight's title on my heart. But it was really confirmed the other day at your group. So anyways, I'm excited for tonight. All right. Well, we have some cool things coming up. We are, for anybody tonight who shares and or likes this post, or this Friday Night Live, your name is going to go into a drawing for next week, and we're going to be giving away merchandise. So we will be either sending it to you or giving it to you in person if you're local. So make sure that you share this live tonight and or like it, or like and share it would be awesome. And as soon as you do that, your name's going to immediately go into a drawing for something free. And Norma, we do not have tote bags, so I know you're going to say that next. But we're working on it. We need more money. All right. Well, I am going to just jump right into this tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us. I'm going to swoop these over to the right, meaning like all these comments. But feel free to comment throughout my time of talking. And just know that if you have any questions or any comments, I'll try to answer those at the end. But tonight I really want to talk about marriage. So something that was put on my heart the other day was don't be a lazy spouse. We have a lot of troubled marriages in today's, society. And I know it might be weird, like maybe coming from somebody like me who has had 2 divorces in my past, but you need to know that I learned a lot from those 2 divorces. I learned about everything, as far as what not to do. It wasn't just that I picked the wrong people, it was that I was a terrible wife. And so I learned a lot of things from going through 2 divorces, and a lot of things that I can share with you as to what not to do. And now I actually have a really happy marriage. I really am going to live happily ever after. And I don't think it's just because I chose the right person, like, oh, finally I got the right person. No, I don't think that's what it is. It's that I really put into practice some of the things that I'm going to share with you tonight. And my husband has gotten really good at putting into practice some of the things that are needed for a really healthy marriage. So whether you are married now happily, or you are unhappily married, or you want to get married someday, or you're mentoring people that are going to be married. So, I think that the advice I give you tonight is going to be for anyone who's watching. And so, hey Mom, I see you on there. My mother-in-law's on there, and I see Tessie on there. Maybe Ken too, but I definitely see Tessie. So anyways, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So one of the things that, I was talking to my husband about recently, we have a lot of talks about marriage. We're always kind of checking in with each other and kind of seeing how we're doing. And, I was getting frustrated because I felt like we weren't going in the same direction, and I reiterated to him that when we got married, I was not just marrying him so that we could be a family and raise kids together. I did not want our whole life to be revolved around our kids, because someday our kids are going to leave. And so if your life is completely revolved around your kids, then what happens to your marriage? It really just goes, it gets things all out of whack. And I told him, I said, when we got married, I wanted to marry you because I wanted someone to date for the rest of my life. I wanted my boyfriend to turn into my fiance, to turn into my husband, so that I could date him for the rest of my life. And I wanted a best friend. And that doesn't mean that we don't do family stuff. We do family stuff all the time. But I wanted to make sure that he knew what my expectations are and what my intentions were with marrying him. I wanted to date him. And so one of the things I know is, even though I'm super passionate about living happily ever after, even though I'm super passionate about being romantic and all of that, I found that, a couple of years into marriage, I started getting lazy. I started doing things like, because I work from home. I mean, yes, I have an office, but a lot of the work I do is from home. And so nobody really sees me. So I was, when my husband would leave for work in the morning, I would have on what I call my frumpies. And so it's like, whatever, baggy jogging pants and, a sweatshirt and, or a tank top or whatever. And I just kind of pull my hair back. And what I noticed is that for like a week or two, or whatever, I don't know how long it was, I noticed that when my husband left for work, I looked the same in the morning as I did at night. And I started thinking about like all the other people that I'd meet for coffee or whatever, like they got the good side of me. They got me with makeup on, they got me with perfume on, and my husband got the leftovers. My husband got me in frumpies. And I was just making a joke the other day too. I wanted to quickly run outside to show him what I wanted done in the garden, because I really want to have some planter boxes made. I want him to build them. And so anyways, I was wearing like frumpies, and I, put my boots like over my frumpies. So I had these like baggy jogging pants kind of like hanging over my boots, and I looked ridiculous. And, anyways, I looked at my husband and I was like, I bet you never pictured like your dream girl wearing an outfit like this. I mean, this is just, I'm sorry. So, anyways, there's things that we do like once we're in a relationship, once we have that person, once we've been with them a few years, where we start getting relaxed. And it's totally cool to get relaxed, don't get me wrong. Be relaxed and be at peace and all that stuff, but don't get lazy. If my husband never sees me wear makeup or never smells perfume on me and only sees me in frumpies and, he doesn't get like my best side, if he doesn't get that, I'm going to open him up to temptation. There is a ton of temptation out in the world today. There's pornography. There's really hot girls out there. There is, women who are desperate who would go after a married man. There are just, women who are just attracted attractive in general and might just be really nice and really funny and cute and wear makeup and have perfume on or whatever. And I'm going to open up my husband for that kind of temptation. Now, I'm not saying that, I mean, if he were to cheat on me, if he were to flirt with somebody or do anything like that, I mean, obviously that would be on him. So I'm not saying this in a way, because I know that there's probably people who are watching or will watch whose husbands have cheated on them or wives have cheated on them, and I'm not giving an excuse for cheating, but I am saying that we need to protect our marriages, and there's a lot of ways to protect our marriages. One is, you know, don't give up on how you look. You know, it's important for men or for women. Like, put some cologne on, put some perfume on. For guys, put a button-up shirt on occasionally, throw some slacks on occasionally. You know, work on your body. You know, don't just let yourself go. And for women, don't just let yourself go either. Like, you know, some women, it's like when they're getting ready to get their hair done or something like that, they never ever check with their husband like, hey, do you think it'd be cool if I got my hair really short? Hey, do you think it'd be cool if I got streaks in my hair? I went totally blonde even though I'm all brunette or whatever. And I think it's just important that we find out what it is that our spouse really likes about how we look, and or what they would like to see more of, and actually change accordingly. Because, you know, it's important that my husband is attracted to me, and it's important that I, you know, occasionally dress up for him or try to look pretty for him or whatever. And it's the same for guys. You need to know that there are men out there who will pursue married women. There are men out there who don't care if she's married or not. And if you're not, you know, doing what you need to see, there's one of my dogs doing it right now, darn it. Anyways, if you're not doing what you need to do to protect your marriage, you're opening up a door for the enemy. So spiritual warfare isn't just about praying. Sometimes it's about protecting what God has blessed you with and doing what you need to do to make sure that your spouse is happy. So one of those ways is how you look. Another one of those ways is making sure you're flirting with them. See, my husband knows, see, I'm probably gonna have to like take a break here and let my dog out, hopefully. Come here, puppy. He's probably gonna keep doing that till I let him out. Anyways, welcome to Noah's Ark. So anyways, the second way is making sure that you're flirting with your spouse. You know, it can be like sending sexy text messages, or it can be flirtatious text messages throughout the day, or it can be, you know, when you see them walk through the door, you know, get up off the couch, let them know that you're happy that they're home. Make your eyes light up when you see them. And I know you're tired by the time, you know, they might get home or whatever, but how much effort does it really take for you to just kind of light up like, oh, you're home, I'm so glad that you're here, and to kiss them, you know, or to hug them or whatever, you know, just to make them feel wanted. That really goes a long ways. So, you know, flirting with them and giving them compliments, because if your spouse is starving for affection or starving for attention, it's very easy for the enemy to come in there and bring somebody else who's going to compliment them, who's going to flirt with them or whatever, and it may be a trap that they might fall into, or if it happened over and over again, they could fall into because they're absolutely starving for it at home. And so make sure that your spouse is filled up. And I'm not saying that it's totally your responsibility, okay? I don't expect my husband to completely fill me up, okay? God fills me up, and I get filled up in other ways, so I don't expect him to constantly fill me up. I'm not empty by the time I see him, but I do expect some compliments. I do expect him to be excited to see me or happy to spend time with me or whatever. And so think of this whole thing as spiritual warfare, and how can you protect your marriage? Another way you need to protect your marriage is by having sex regularly. Yep, I said it, and I know that that's PG-13, but I don't know how many people under 13 actually watch our Friday Night Live, so I'm gonna say it. Sex is spiritual warfare. And if your sex life isn't happening on a regular basis, that's something that needs to be talked about. And for women, you know, sometimes women will be like, you know, oh, I'm not happy in our sex life. Well, have you told him? No, I haven't really told him. Well, did you know that guys love to talk about sex? So you could totally tell him exactly what you need. And instead of coming to him and saying, you know, you're just not doing it for me, or you're doing it wrong, or to put them on the defense. Don't put them on the defense. Encourage them and think back through your life with him and think about the things he has done, right? And tell him that that's what you like, or whatever it is, communicate it. It's really, really important. Sex is also spiritual warfare. You don't want to leave any doors open. And, some of us will say things like, well, I'm not going to do that until he does that. Or I'm not going to do that until she does that. He doesn't treat me right, or she doesn't treat me right. So I'm going to wait until that happens before I actually do my part. But the thing is that when you stand before God at the end of your life, which everybody's going to, do you know that your spouse is not going to be standing with you? Do you know that you're not going to be able to blame everything on them? You have your part and they have their part. So why don't you just do your part? So if you have been a lazy spouse lately, why don't you stop being a lazy spouse and take it up a notch and start loving them the way you promised that you would love them when you married them? That's one way that you can do this. And you're probably not going to get the best response right away. It might take you a while. It might take you months. It might take you a year or whatever, especially if you have, a really bad marriage right now. But I really believe that it will work because it is you planting seeds. And eventually you're going to get a harvest. So I really want to encourage you to do your part. Let's see, what were some of the other things I was going to say? Another thing that can be really helpful is just being vulnerable, just really talking about the things that you need and the things that you love about that other person or whatever. Matt and I had to have a conversation because, as you all know, if you know me at all, I like to talk. And so I also process out loud. And I want to have conversations, especially with my husband. That's how I connect with him, is through conversations. And one time he was asking, what he could do to be a better husband to me. And I said, well, it would be for you to talk to me more. I always feel like I'm the one who is instigating all the conversation. And when I do that, you give me one-word answers or half of a sentence and it just falls off. So then I try to pick another subject and I try to engage with you in that area. And then it's the same thing. And I'm having a hard time finding a conversation that you'll actually engage with me. So it'd be really awesome if you actually started a couple of conversations and maybe helped keep them going, or maybe give me a little bit more of a response, because when we talk, it helps me to connect with you. And so, anyways, one of the things, so not everyone's made like that. So you know what my husband did, which was really creative? He Googled questions I can ask my wife. And he sat down with me and asked me different questions. And it actually helped. It was like, we did it just last weekend. And it was so nice that he is still trying to get to know me, even though he had to Google how to do it. Who cares? Whatever. Sometimes you just got to go get your tools. And Google is a great place to do it. Pinterest is also a great place to do it. Anyways, he just started asking me these questions, and I'm thinking, you know what? He doesn't know everything about me, even though I'm totally an open book, but he really doesn't know everything about me. And I'm changing constantly. And so for him to be interested in me and want to know the answers to those questions, I was totally filled up. I loved that. So maybe there's an area where your spouse, if you just told them what you wanted, maybe just one thing that they could work on that would be pleasing to you. I mean, how much could that actually do for your marriage? It's really important. People want to know, what does it for you? What is something that actually makes you happy? Because a lot of times in marriage, all we do is talk about the things that don't make us happy. But why don't you tell somebody what makes you happy? Just one, maybe tangible thing. And that could be really helpful. And in the meantime, you do your part. In the meantime, you take it up a notch in the way that you look, at least occasionally, maybe once a week or whatever, and pursuing each other, flirting with each other. You can do that. And then being vulnerable and letting them know what it is that you actually need or what it is that you really, really love about them. And I'm going to talk to those hard-headed girls right now. So the girls like me, the independent, strong women who are like, I don't need a man. I don't need nothing. I can do it all on my own. People like us, women like us, I know there's men who do this too, but we communicate to our spouses that we don't need them when we are like that. And we think it's a really good attribute to be independent like that and to not need anybody. But I think a man occasionally wants to be needed. They want to know that you actually do need them. And deep down inside, we know we do. Occasionally, though, we should probably communicate that. So, keep it real. Don't always be like that tough girl. Keep it real with what you really need and what you really want. I think that's really important. And I'm going to read out of 1 Corinthians 13. And I know a lot of people have heard, this scripture, but I want you to see a few things. So 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8 says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in the Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, and love never fails. And, those aren't just feelings. Those are actions, and those are actions that we need to take. The Bible talks all the time about, the most important thing ever is to love God with all our heart, all our soul, and all of our strength. But we need to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Well, who is our closest neighbor? Our spouse. And so if you are not, there's my dog again. If you are not, doing these things, if you're not loving them well, you open them up to temptation. You open them up to the enemy. You open up your marriage to be destroyed by the enemy. And that's exactly what he wants to do. And so, one of the things it says in here is love is not self-seeking. So if you are waiting until your spouse changes before you actually do what God is calling you to do, that's wrong and that's not love. You are not to be self-seeking. You are to seek, what is the best for other people. Seek what is the best for your spouse. And when you do that, it actually will eventually make you feel better. Your bitterness will start to subside. It also says that love always hopes and it always perseveres. So if you have a marriage that is pretty hopeless right now, love always hopes and it always perseveres and love never fails. It's time for you to start hoping again. It's time for you to start persevering again. Like maybe you're in the middle of your marriage, or maybe you're 3/4 of the way, maybe you're quite a few years into your marriage and things are just like, just kind of ho-hum, or things are really bad. It's time to recommit. It's time to finish strong. You can still have a really good marriage no matter how sucky it is. You can still have a good marriage. If you have failed marriages in your past and you're looking forward to getting married again, you can still have a really, really good marriage. You can still be, married happily ever after. The big difference between my marriage now and my marriages in my past is that God is the center of my marriage. It says in the word that a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. My God, our God, is in the center of our marriage. And when I struggle with Matt, when I am feeling insecure, or I feel like he's not doing what I think he should do, or I'm disappointed, or we're struggling in any area, I literally invite God into that situation. I will ask God ahead of time, like, I need you, God. I need your perspective on this. I need your help in this. I need your strength. I need your discernment. I need you to love him through me. I am struggling right now, and that could be in any area. Like a lot of people who are struggling, like in the area of like sex, that's people's like biggest, fights that they have. It's like money or sex. And if you're struggling in that area, I've said this to other people and they think I'm super weird, but it's like, have you invited God into your sex life? Or do you just like keep him out the door and they're like, what? That's so weird. It's like, if you're a Christian though, God is in you. He's in there anyway. So why don't you ask him for a little help? It's just amazing what can happen when you allow God into your life, in every area of your life, and in every room of your house. It's important that you invite him in because, man, God's the one who made marriage, so he can make it really awesome no matter how bad your marriage is right now. Like I I've worked with a lot of people who have had bad marriages who don't anymore. They have really good marriages. And so I just want to give you hope that no matter how bad it has been or is right now, God can turn it around. But you need to do your part, okay? You got your part and God has his part. Don't worry about what your spouse is doing or isn't doing. Why don't you do what you're supposed to do and see if things change around? So anyways, my whole message tonight, really, the biggest thing was I just wanted to say, don't be a lazy spouse. Don't be a lazy wife. Don't be a lazy husband. Like, we're at war here, and we need to be at war for our marriages. We need to protect them the best that we possibly can. Like, I'm a little dressed up tonight because I'm going to go meet my husband, and we're going on a little date. And yes, it is to see my daughter in a play, but still, you can make a date out of anything, like a little bit of lipstick and a little bit of high heels or whatever, a button-up shirt and some cologne, and you can call it a date. My husband and I go on dates to the dump. I do not wear a full face or high heels to the dump, but you can make a date out of anything. And if you don't have, the money to be able to like really be romantic or whatever, do something at home. Like, if you go on Pinterest or Google it, you can look up cheap date nights at home, and you'd be amazed the things that you can do that will really make them feel loved and appreciated and won't cost you any money. Like, we had I think it was our anniversary. Yeah, it was our last anniversary in December, and I was kind of late in shopping and all that stuff, and I didn't even know what to get him. I'm like, what can I get him? So I went on Pinterest and I got some ideas, and I did this whole display on our mirror. So when he woke up in the morning, there was all these hot pink like Post-it notes made into a heart on our mirror, and every single one of the Post-it notes said some sort of like flirtatious thing or something that was like a personal joke between him and I, or just like really cute or whatever. And some of them even had scriptures on it. And I threw that together, and I probably wrote all those things in like an hour or something like that. And it's like, my husband felt so loved by that. And even the other night, he was saying like one of the things that I was really good at was making creative gifts. But little does he know, unless he's watching right now, I don't think he is. Little did he know I got that idea off of Pinterest. So whatever it takes, man, you just got to do what you need to do so that you can have a happy marriage, or those that you're mentoring can have a happy marriage. Like, give them some of these ideas and these tips. And I'd love to hear what your tips are too, because it's important. We got to protect marriages, man. There's so many marriages falling apart. I don't want to see any more marriages falling apart. They can be fixed. They can be salvaged, and they can live happily ever after, even though they're in a really bad situation. So I'd love to hear from all of you guys. And remember that anyone who shares this live tonight or presses like or likes and shares, your name is going to get put into a drawing, and we're going to be giving away free merchandise next week. So I'll be sending it to you, or if you're local, I will drop it off to you personally. So I'm going to slide these over to the left and see if you guys have anything to say. Do you guys have any questions? Hey, Maddie. I haven't seen you forever. Hey, Sandy. I know, I love wearing my frumpies too. Hey, Chris, you're newly married. So you just got to keep doing what you're currently doing now. It's really, really important. Hey, Crystalline. Hi, Amy. Hi, Larry. My ex-step people. My family is not a family tree, it's a family bush. Hey, Dusty and Megan and Rebecca. Hey, Web. Yes, never stop dating. I absolutely love dating my husband, and I am usually the one who pursues him in that area. I'm super romantic like that, but my husband has finally asked me out on a date. No, you know what? Who cares who really asks the other one? It doesn't really matter. We just need to make sure we're doing it. We need to make sure we're going out on dates. You're getting married, Everett? Yes! I'm so happy. The first time I met you, when you guys were donating all that stuff, I was saying, like, you're wondering, you know, about your relationship and all that stuff. I was like, wait a minute. Well, I won't say everything that I said, but I said that you should get married, didn't I? That very first time I met you. So that's awesome. Marriage is amazing. You guys, marriage is not a drag. If it's a drag, change it. Do what you need to do. And I promise you, it's not about just having the right person. So many people think it's about having the right person. It's not about that. It's about being the right person. Why don't you be the right person? And change yourself. Do what you need to do. Take it up a notch so that when you look at yourself as a spouse, you go, man, I'm feeling good about myself as a spouse. I'm doing well. And you can always ask your partner, you know, you can always say like, hey, is there something that I could do that would make you more happy? Is there something that I can do that would be like more pleasing to you, you know, in whatever category? Like just recently, you know, I'm getting my hair done on Tuesday, and I was like looking at all these different hairstyles because that's what us girls do. We're not like guys and get our same thing every single time. And so I was asking my husband, like, which one did he like? Which one did he not like? And I really wanted his opinion because I want to know what he thinks is pretty. If he thinks that short red hair is pretty, well, then I would probably cut my hair short and dye it red, like whatever. I want him to think that I'm pretty. I want him to be attracted to me. And so, yes, I ask my husband things like that. And if it was actually, no, I probably wouldn't do it red. You know what? I take that back. Never mind. I would submit to him in every other area, though. Kidding. Any questions that you guys have? I'm going to check over my notes here, see if there was anything else I wanted to say. Nope, I said everything. Hello, Rebecca. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, I think I know who you are. I'm like trying to see. Aren't you in a Mercedes group? Your like little profile picture is like super duper small right now. So I can't tell who it is. But I think you're in Mercedes group and you weren't there on Sunday when I came. I was hoping that you would be there. All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Oh, yeah, yay. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Please share this and like it so that we can put your name into a drawing for next week. I don't know what we're gonna give away, but we're gonna give away some of our merchandise. So it might be a hoodie sweatshirt, a t-shirt, you know, a water bottle, one of our books, a DVD, something. So yeah, help us to get the word out there even further. You know, we're preaching Jesus and we're preaching like how to be an all-in Christian. And more people need to know that. More people need to know like practical ways, like how do you actually walk it out? How do you actually have a happy marriage? How do you walk that out? And sorry for my dog in the background. I think that next time I will not do my live here at home, but I want to do it in front of our wedding pictures. That's another way to really love your spouse. Put up pictures on the walls and put up things that let them know that they are loved and that you're celebrating your marriage and celebrating your relationship. So I could talk about this subject for a long, long time, but I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2. So anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.